Welcome back to No More Interviews. My name is Corey Hackett Green, quarter owner of Robin C. LLC, and this is where my journey started. My junior year of high school, I actually suffered a freak injury, leaving my hip detached from my groin. This is the most painful experience that I've ever felt in my life, and that actually led me to the best decision in my life. I was forced to make a decision between football, basketball, and track and field in order to obtain a scholarship to help my family push me through college. High school coach Carl Gaines, and he was the one that helped me make an informed decision. He told me that if I spent a year and some change with him, that I would be able to obtain a scholarship. So I took that chance, I took that leap of faith, and I spent countless times on the track, on the hill, lifting weights, doing things that other people wouldn't do in order to obtain greatness. And by the end of my high school career, I actually obtained a scholarship to Coastal Carolina University. This hill made me who I am today, because I know in life, everything is an uphill battle. But if you go through it, if you push through it, everything that you want is on the other side of that hill, and that's where greatness is obtained. So this is something that sticks with me forever. I did 3 years at Coastal Carolina and then did a year and a half at Virginia Tech. Unfortunately, I did find out that track and field doesn't last forever, and I did struggle with hamstring injuries at both universities, and that was very, very challenging for me because, not being able to do something that I love to the fullest capacity is just a mental battle in itself. I know how hard I worked in regards to running those hills, the rehab sessions, practice, pushing myself to my limit each and every day, and to come back to the drawing board each and every time after getting injured was something that established in my mentality that, like, if you want something, you have to go and do what you have to do to make it happen. And time again, I had to go back to square one and, build up that strength, build up that speed, build up that training. And it was worth it in the end for me because my senior season at Virginia Tech, I was able to finish healthy, which was a very, very proud moment for myself. I also pledged the greatest fraternity in the world, Kappa Alpha Psi, and did graduate with a degree in economics in the spring of 2017. Post-graduation, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do in regards to my major because when I transferred from Coastal Carolina to Virginia Tech, my major switched from marketing to economics, and it threw me on a complete whirlwind because I only took 2 econ courses at Coastal Carolina, and coming to Virginia Tech and that being my full-time major, it was crazy, I'm not gonna lie. There was tons of nights where I stayed up late trying to process the information, summer classes, tutoring, all the above, just trying to make sure that I did get that degree. And I was actually gifted with probably one of the most important gifts in my life was a set of books from my Uncle Brian where, I started to develop a different mindset, trying to figure out what I wanted to do post-college and to build myself into that entrepreneurial mindset. So I found myself working locally in Northeast Philadelphia with a moving company where, I learned tons of different sales techniques, just how to conduct myself in meetings, learning how to talk to different people, and, just learning how the business world works. And that was a very, very important experience for me. And I also established some real estate knowledge as well. So I did some wholesaling. I actually bought 2 properties with my cousin in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, and just learning different experiences where I was getting more and more into my entrepreneurial mindset. And that's when things started to take a turn for me for the worse because I actually found out my grandma was dealing with some dementia, her sister as well. And seeing somebody that you love going through something like dementia where it's a slow killer where each and every day you don't really know what's going on. I would walk in the house, my grandma wouldn't know my name, she would call me other people's names. Some days she would know who I was, some days she would smile, some days she would just look at me, and having to deal with that on a day-to-day basis was very taxing for me mentally because, I grew up around my grandma. I called her every single day that I was away from school, just checking up on her, making sure that everything was good back home. And to come back home to a situation where, I showed her my degree and she really showed no emotion, and that really stuck with me because, my grandma loved me deeply, and I know that, and for her to have no emotion for one of the biggest accomplishments in my life, where I knew she would have been super proud of everything that I put together, that was tough for me. And on February 24th, I got that call from my mother saying that my grandmother had passed away, and you know, that contributed to one of the darkest times of my life, because at the same time when she passed away, things were getting slow at work. I actually wasn't getting paid for an extended period of time. My checks were getting shorted from the jump, and just different little things were going on where, you know, I was in a dark hole and I didn't know how I was going to climb out of it. And that was, you know, very challenging for me. I spent several days in the dark not knowing what I wanted to do, constantly being conflicted, you know, trying to maintain a positive attitude, but just thinking about those things over and over and over again, and it became consuming to my mental. At my aunt's going away party, we actually were catching up with everybody, just seeing what was going on with everybody in the family, and you know, we had a conversation and found out there were a couple different family members that were involved in real estate and were interested in real estate. And I had some previous experience with also the moving company where I was doing some wholesaling. I actually invested in 2 properties in Pottsville with one of my cousins, and just learning different strategies that I could use and be, you know, of source to my family. And we had a couple meetings, sat down, kind of deciphered what everybody's interest was and what we could end up doing together as a family. And a couple months after my grandma passed away, we actually formed Robin Seed LLC, which is me, my cousin Craig, my mom Cheryl Hackett, and my uncle Brian Hackett, and we came together to form Robin Seed LLC. And you know, we spent several months just trying to find properties, trying to find different strategies in order to, you know, find a good investment, making sure that the numbers made sense, spending time with contractors, people that didn't bring the information that we needed. I've probably been in about 80 houses from North Philadelphia to Uptown to West Philadelphia to Norristown, all over, and just trying to find the opportunity that made the most sense for us. And we actually got involved in a one-on-one program with Greg Parker, who's out of Brewerytown, Philadelphia, and he actually arranged a situation where my family was able to purchase a 6-unit building in Cleveland, Ohio. And it is a little far away, but with the right systems, you know, having a property manager, having a construction team, and having, you know, everything set up in a proper manner, you can actually own real estate in other states where, you know, you just make sure that money comes properly. And that's something that we went forward with, that we're waiting on for construction right now. And this property behind me right now, we will be coming into as well. It's in Norristown, Pennsylvania. It's currently arranged as a rooming house. So there's several different rooms with numerous amount of beds in there, and with that, you know, it allows the opportunity to make sure that you're capitalizing on the area in real estate and making sure that for each and every square foot you're getting paid. So with rooming houses, most of these services are government provided, meaning that you know exactly where your money is coming from, and that's something that my family was definitely interested in regards to real estate. With Cleveland, Ohio, we're more than likely going to go with the Section 8 route, making sure that, you know, the tenants are getting that money from the government and we receive that, so we don't have to worry about where's the money coming from, do we have to hunt people down, things of that nature, where, you know, we can just get the money how it comes. And here we're trying to decipher whether we should renovate it and turn it into apartments or turning it into a rooming service that could either provide for veterans, people struggling with opioid addiction, battered women, so many different routes that you could take where you know, you can just be a blessing to other people by doing so. So that's something that my family's definitely interested in doing. And also with rooming houses, you get paid by the bed. And most of these services, they provide you with $1,000 to $1,500 per tenant. So with 15 beds in this house behind us, multiply that times 1,000 or 1,500. I mean, you do the math. That's a good situation all day long. It's just a matter of putting that system together and making sure that you can do what you need to do in order to keep that thing rolling. Actually able to come together as a unit and be able to move forward with something positive. And that's something that I'm so proud of my family for, because I was personally concerned, not necessarily sure what was going to happen when, you know, 2 of these significant figures in my family both passed away around the same time with the same disease. And the fact that we were able to come together as a unit and move forward and do big things beyond that is very, very important to me. So a little bit about my, I guess my role in Robinson LLC is I actually took a part-time job where I'm teaching kickboxing classes. Two of the biggest things that I've gained from entrepreneurship have been strengthening my faith and developing my patience. Every single morning at 4:30, I read James 1:1-8. These Bible verses are very, very important to me, and I love to start my day with them. It talks about how trials produce patience, so understanding that things do happen in life, but on the back end, they're good for you, and you take those lessons and you turn them into wins. Also at the back end of the verses, it talks about how a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. So I know that if I have a single-minded faith, that God will provide every single thing that I need in life. Following reading James 1:1-8 every single morning and every single night, I write in my notebook, money comes easily, frequently, and abundantly. Therefore, every single day, I'm training my mind to understand that all my time studying, all my sacrifices, me being relentless, me putting things aside and devoting my time to all of my goals and my passions, everything will come easily, frequently, and abundantly before me. And by saying that every day, my mind believes that. So anything outside of that can't touch me. Very soon, my personal LLC of CLH Consulting LLC, which was formed by my Uncle Brian. After I graduated from college, we'll be doing some beginner real estate advice and also some simple life coaching tips to go over some of the things that I've learned by attending these seminars, reading several books, spending several hours on listening to podcasts and things of that nature, and also the skills that I've developed that help me maintain and keep a positive attitude every single day of my life. I will be sharing that with everybody as well. So I want to make sure that people can see the things that I see within myself that I was struggling to find when I was going through those dark times, missing my grandmother, not having a job, things of that nature that I know people are struggling with. I want to be able to be a blessing to other people the way people have been a blessing to me. In addition to Robinson LLC, my family's venture, CLH Consulting, my personal venture, and the brand that Kevin and I are building, with no more interviews, we have tons of more content coming to you soon. Stay tuned.
Small circle, it's a chosen few. I wrote it down and I followed through. I bought a pound and we rode the fuel. I talk shit, but she know it's true. Ocean views, small circle, it's a chosen few. I wrote it down and I followed through.